This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'll begin at verse. We'll begin at verse 12. Matthew 24 and 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Book of Thumb. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the occupant across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to Akwatani Yakim with the listen, learning, Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Basically, doing a lesson on an article I got off of RT in regards to that freedom convoy. I don't know if well, I believe most of the people that listen to my channel are, believers. I do get comments from, these Edomites, and I get some demons that fuck with me here and there. But for the most part, brothers that really sincerely listen to my subscribers, I believe they are believers. Saying out to say this, you should be familiar with what's going on in the world. You got that freedom convoy with the truckers that's going through Canada and will make its way to America. And basically, it's staged to a degree, I believe, speaking as a man, but at the same time, it's like anything else. Just like the Black Lives Matter. You had people sincerely protesting and peacefully protesting, and then you had paid agitators in the midst of that. And the same thing with this, because you got to understand, it's people that fund these things because they're pushing the agenda. I'm saying all that to say this thing is getting very brutal. I did a video, I believe, yesterday or the day before. It was video showing the mounted police and Canadian police basically trolloping and riding over because they was mounted, so they was on their horses. They basically stampeded over the protesters. So then they were beating protesters. Yeah, so. And that's all going to come to Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. It tells you in Revelation 12 and 12, thou shalt come down, the devil coming down with great wrath because he know if he have it but a short time. And this article goes into how they basically were laughing about it. They celebrated the brutality. Actually, I read the title. It says, Police Probe Leaked Messages Where Officers Reportedly Celebrated Brutality. And it's nothing new, that's why I started with that Matthew 24, and that's how you know what time we in, because it says, for the love of many shall wax cold, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. It's a cold spirit the Lord putting on people. And especially in the day of trouble, the brother from Kansas City, the elder, the head, he was saying, brothers, some brothers are more fortunate than others, or their lot is they have more to a degree, but brothers have a mentality, it tells you in the scriptures, the world will know you by the love you have for one another, roughly paraphrase. So brothers are going to be in a mindset to share. I remember when I came into this truth, I was homeless, and these brothers took me in as if like I was part of, like they've known me forever. And that's one of the main things. I ain't gonna say that's the main thing I seen, but that was when I actually seen and accepted, and they haven't changed yet. You know what I mean? And that's how you know this thing is sincere and the truth. But these 2/3 people, these niggas and these Edomites, they gonna eat each other. These Babylonians, because you already got so much divisions. You know what I mean? You got divisions. When you really take the time to think about it, this place is a group of people with no real culture that's all basically built on a philosophy, but it's separation because you got the Latinos that's with the Latinos, or the Ephraimites with the Ephraimites, the Issacharites with the Issacharites, the Judah with Judah. You know what I mean? And then you got Edomites with Edomites. So you got minglings here and there, but for the most part, you already got separation. It's always been like that. When you go into gangs in New York, when you got the 5 points, you know, we got a 5 points in Cleveland, and it was 5 points because it was 5 different groups. You know, so not to digress. Basically, you're gonna see more violence, and that's coming to America. You know, now I don't know how the Most High is going to do it. That's just like how they started all these mandates, and you got to have this passport, yada yada yada. Then you got a lot of countries and cities that's basically pulling back from that. So it's as if like that wasn't really the agenda. It was as if like they did one thing, because that's the whole key to magic. Stage magic is Slovakia. Stage magic is you never you got them focused on the left hand while the right hand doing something the whole time. Bear with me for a second. So I'm gonna bring out of this little bit of this article. It says police probe leaked messages where officers reportedly celebrated brutality. Purportedly leaked messages show Royal Canadian Mounted Police officers describe trampling of demonstrators as awesome. And that's a spirit, because I didn't know they was going to go into that. But I watched that. And that wasn't staged, faked, or nothing. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police announced on Sunday that it is looking into leaked messages apparently from an officers' chat group in which members appeared to cheer on the trampling of Freedom Convoy demonstrators in Ottawa and declared it time for the protesters to hear our jackboots on the ground. And that's and he talking about how they literally gonna check into it, but they don't give a fuck. Like, they looking at it like the elder just broke that down. You got to understand, terrorists aren't necessarily doing something to attack the government or blow something up or whatnot. A terrorist in the government's mindset is anybody that goes against the ideology of what they're saying. So those that are standing up against the fact that they don't want to take this shit is to consider a terrorist. That's why they treat them the way that they treating them. You know what I mean? Like, so you people still think y'all got freedoms, but if you watch that video, because I believe I watched it on RT, because I did a video based on it, that you'll see that you don't have the freedom. Just like when they locked this place down and they was dragging people. I remember seeing a video on YouTube. It was a young mother with her child, and she didn't have her mask exactly on her face, but she had it like up under her neck. She had her child, and basically she was stopped by the police. This was in New York, and they end up like slamming her on her head, and it's kind of fucked up. I mean, you could tell she was like a strong-willed nigga woman, but still though, to have that happen in front of your child, that's why scriptures talk about agree with thy adversary quickly. And I'm be honest with myself and the world, because what's the point of lying to you if I'm lying to myself? At the end of the day, I have had an issue with that. The scriptures talk about live peaceable with all men and agree with thy adversary quickly. So, you know what I mean? And sometimes, Jake don't do that. And that's why Jake get judged a lot. The RCMP is aware of the material circulating on social media pertaining to a chat group that includes some of its members. And we can confirm that we are looking into this matter. Read a statement from the force. This material is not representative of those who have committed themselves to serving Canadians with integrity and professionalism. A federal police force. And, this pretty much the art. No, that's pretty So basically, if you want to read this, it says the police crackdown came after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoked the never before used Emergencies Act last week, as well as empowering police to clear the streets. The act permits the government to freeze bank accounts and cryptocurrency wallets belonging to protest participants and donors. And that's the spirit. Interim Ottawa Police Chief Steve Bell declared the protest over on Saturday. However, Bell warned on Friday that his department will continue to hunt down those who have been involved in the protest and punish them financially. If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges, he threatened. And you listen to this shit. They talking about sanctions on the individual. It sounds like how America, and I just read an article. Well, I didn't read it. I read the title or the headline of an article where it talks about Biden is about to sanction Russia, two provinces of Russia today. So basically, and that's what this whole system is based on, because this push for this digital ID, this internet 3.0, web 3.0, digital governance, all these terms you need to go check into. Go check into the movie Minority Report. And we coming into a technocrat. I'm a butcher, but techno is not a democracy, technocracy or something like that. Basically, I'm mispronouncing Salakia, but basically where technology is going to be the forefront of everything. And you can see the push of that. They got technology that you have never been aware of. That's going to be, come on, if they got robot dogs, they got literally robot dogs and fucking Sophias, the robot Sophias. And, you got people that talk about marrying fucking robots. And people trying to hold on to this shit. So, like, I'm getting frustrated. So, showing all this, it's not about your individual freedom anymore. That's what this whole push with this CV is. They telling you to do what's best for everybody. And, take this. Take something experimental that actually probably compromising your immune system. They telling you, and you got people so dumb, and that's why they consider you sheeple, that you just gonna blindly follow something that don't make no sense. Like running into a burning building. Unless you're a fireman or you got somebody you love in there, an average individual ain't just gonna run in a burning building no matter who, if they hear people in there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Lord can put a spirit, or you got some people that have a spirit like that, but for the most part, most people is not going, unless their family is in jeopardy or that's their occupation. People run from burning buildings. They don't run into them. Salakia for all the digression. Point being, we coming into new times. The scriptures talk about the devil coming out with great wrath. And this is going to lead to, because these people is not going to continue to take these officials and these government officials literally beating on them, trampling them, all that. So, I mean, what happened in Kazakhstan? Basically, it was an uprising, an uproar where they actually was beheading the police. They was beheading the government officials. So that's going to lead to this Isaiah chapter 19. Isaiah chapter 19, I'm going to start at verse 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. And the modern day Egyptian is these red Hebrew Edomites. Their system, their kingdom it's called Babylon because it's confusion. They've taken bits and pieces from all these ancient civilizations and incorporated them into one. That's why when you go into all these different holidays and just different things that is involved in the society is from mixtures from different cultures. That's why this place is more wicked than any civilization, like any kingdom before it, because it's all the wickedness combined, and that's why it's gonna get the judgment that it's gonna get. It says verse 2 again, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So they're gonna consult these Chaldeans. They're gonna consult. They warlocks and witches to no avail though, because it tells you that basically the Most High is the Father of spirits. He tells you in the scriptures that the Most High God, the deceived and both the deceived and the deceiver are His. This red Hebrew Edomite thinks that this is his ideal plan. And he thinks that he came up with this when ultimately is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Also, with this brutality is going to lead to Salakia. It's going to lead to the persecution of the men of the Lord. It tells you in the book of Timothy, I think 2 Timothy chapter 3, about the last days, how people are going to be vain, lovers of themselves. Fierce. Violence is going to increase. This book of 2nd Ezra, I'm going to get to the point. Because like I said, again, based on all this violence, because like I said, especially in America, that's why they keep on, they're talking about in Habakkuk chapter 2 about how though it tarry, wait for it, because it surely shall come, and it will not tarry, because of the fact it seemed like it's stop and go, because again, America is unlike the other countries, because Americans still have access to weapons. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these other countries don't. Australia doesn't. China doesn't. So they got to play all these mind games with the Americans, but to show you how simple and stupid Americans are, because they fall for a lot of them hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sink. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16. We'll start at verse 67. Behold, Yahweh himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And one of those idols is, like I said, this jab. That's a part of the philosophy of the image of this place. But the ultimate idol will be that MOTB. Verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and had in derision and in reproach and a trodden underfoot. And the spirit is, you got, like I said, people that's going to be complying, but yet still you have people protesting that got caught up in that, but they was peacefully protesting. I've heard people make mention of they basically took the jab, but yet still they protest or they against it because they don't believe that you got the right to force this on anybody. And again, that show you how simple and blinded people are, because they're literally forcing this in your face, but yet still you don't, you talk about you free. Verse 70, for there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Because ultimately that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're already putting that spirit on these police officers. And that's the spirit too, because the elder was just going into, the patty rollers. When you go into like the slave catchers, that's what your police force is based off of. Your modern police force is based off of the slave catchers back in the day, because the slave catchers basically, was put in position to actually protect these Edomites that actually own the slaves from any slave rebellions. The scriptures talk about how anybody take from the word of the Most High God shall be should receive a judgment. These devils had a slave Bible where they took out certain chapters and certain books in the Bible, like the book of Exodus. You can go look that up, and then you stupid ass people will still want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and still want to love your oppressor. And that's sad. Like, it really is. 2/3 of our own people are so fucked up that they gonna have to be put to sleep. Steve Coakley, if you're not familiar with him, he said that. Because they so basically like they became so Hellenized and so like they so heathenized, they don't even realize that they Israelites. They want to be a Greek. They want to be a Grecian. You know what I mean? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So with like Revelation 12:12 says, they're gonna come down with great wrath because they know they have but a short time, and they're gonna come on persecuting the men of the Lord. Because like I said, the main people that get targeted, you got all kind of people. I was listening to this one particular podcast, and I'm not going to say the person's name because I'm not going to draw no heat to them. But nonetheless, he said it himself. He said, I can speak about this, I can speak about that, but if I get to speaking about certain things, because he go a little bit deeper as far as the technology being used, and these, like, you don't even understand what they have done. This is not something that's been around. This whole jab thing, the technology they create, this is new technology. It's mRNA. Go look that up. Like, they changing your biological structure. And they'll say, oh, no, that's not the case, and you don't know what you're talking about. But if you go on Moderna's website, they literally say it. It's a new technology they created, and basically they just testing it on you. They should be like madman, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Yeah, how about you, Shai? So they're going to be upset because at the end of the day, like I say, who is out here speaking the truth? You know, a liar, a devil, a slanderer, because that's when you go into the word devil, that means a deceiver, a slanderer, a false accuser. They don't like the fact, they don't like truth. They want people to believe they fucking narrative. You got people really believing it too. You got people thinking that America gonna be made back great. Y'all don't even know. Now, we know through the spirit that this World War III ain't gonna take off because we understand certain things got to come to pass first. But people don't even understand the turmoil and what's going on in the world. You got motherfuckers that's focused on that All-Star weekend game shit that you couldn't even go to but still was in the spirit. They talk about they raised the price to $3,000 for nosebleed sheets. But the motherfuckers still just had to be down there. Just in the vibe of it. And at the end of the day, that's why in the book of Revelation it say, let the unjust be unjust, let the righteous be righteous still, let the unjust be unjust still. Because at the end of the day, we all got our lots. A nigga that's focused about that with all, you talk about Ukraine, Russia, and America up there talking all this shit, and you got a nigga sitting up there talking about some all-star game shit. It say, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So coming into this truth, you should know that this comes with a price. But that's why it's a reward if you stay faithful as well. It talks about literally a crown. Verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So yeah, it's going to be, things that's going to come with this. But if you are the elect, you're going to be able to persevere. Think about this. All the disciples this is how you know the truth of the scriptures. I had this book when I was just locked up, right? And I think it's called More Than a Carpenter. And basically, it was written from a standpoint of an atheist, but by him writing it, he began to believe in the Most High God. And basically, he had a chapter and it was talking about the disciples. And when you go into the disciples, pretty much every disciple died a horrific death. Only one that didn't die a horrific death was John, because he was exiled into the island of Patmos. But all of the other ones was either crucified, beheaded. I think what's the name got shot with arrows. Like, they all died like horrific deaths. And based on, and they said, well, basically, if this was a lie, they all had to know it was a lie. So they said basically for one man to die for a lie, that's pretty like the odds of that is very, very astronomical. But for all of them to die, that's like impossible. But the Lord put a spirit on them, the men, our forefathers, to be able to endure that. And I believe if whatever your lot is, if it's meant for you to make it, or if it's meant for you to actually be a martyr, that the Lord, if it's chosen, you're going to have a spirit to endure that. Because, like I said, I didn't think I'd be able to endure half the shit I've endured since I've been in the truth. So I'm to the point now, me and in the proper spirit, we hoping this the last Passover shit. We hoping it's in before the Passover. His brother just brought that out of camp. This place is vexing. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And then, like I said, and this devil going to get worse and worse and worse until he come down with great wrath. So if you a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rachak. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Aquaf and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time I'm able to come to another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawaf lababal. Shalom.